This is where we take a break inside TUOIA and the uniqueness of it all. We're downtown Douglasville. I'm Yalanda Lattimore. I'm the editor of DryerBuzz.com. Let's see, we got a little bit of walking around and it survived. So I'm going to be interactive with you guys today. I've got my iPad here so we can see the comments and put my glasses on. But Rita Fasina is joining us again this Friday because we really have got to talk about fear. And so we are jumping in this hashtag conversation that's out there called Fearless Friday. You know, at DryerBuzz and with 27 Answers, I'm trying to help you make your next networking your best networking. And I think people are, for the most part, fearless on Friday because they wear what they really want to wear because you get to dress down a little bit. And you get to go out and present a different person than you are during the rest of the week. We get to kind of step away from the obligations, the responsibilities.
That's right.
Get into the weekend, but we're still not taking full advantage of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And you and I have had a number of conversations. Rita Fasina, Distinctive Ops. How do they follow you before we get started?
Okay, they can follow me on Twitter.
And then you get a call on your Periscope.
I did, at Distinctive Ops.
Okay.
They can follow me on Facebook, Rita Fasina Thomas, and I have a fan page, Distinctive Ops Services.
And what is Distinctive Ops? What does that mean?
What it means is that we want to be excellent in everything that we do. Now, what the business actually does, it helps those business owners to do just that. And we help through operational training. Mm-hmm. We help through writing those manuals that are probably either sitting on your shelf or you just never had them written, such as your employee manual, such as your social media policy.
Okay.
You know, all those policies and procedures that you definitely need. And unfortunately, people don't come to me until they're in trouble.
And what do you mean in trouble? Because like say you're on the job, you're using social media, and then all of a sudden they want to reprimand you, but they hadn't put a policy in place yet, right?
Right. And if you don't have a written policy, you can find yourself in a little hot water.
Right.
Because you're trying to hold them to a standard that they know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I went to a networking this weekend. We had a conversation about what level of expectation to meet, and a lot of times it's our own expectation.
That's right.
And that's coming up again and again, where people are striving here, but the level of expectation is here. You don't know, especially in social media, you don't know what, because we're still creating it. Even though I've been in it for 30 years, it's like, okay, everything that was yesterday was yesterday. Today is a new day.
Right.
So let's talk about meeting, because this is the fear. Because a lot of times people are afraid they're not going to meet the expectation, but the expectation isn't even there yet.
Well, if the expectation isn't there, then how do you expect your people to follow it?
Right. And how do you be afraid of it?
And, well, the thing is, I believe that people are trying to be penny wise while being pound foolish.
Ooh, what does that mean? Penny wise, pound foolish.
Basically, what they're trying to do is save a dime, and in the long run, they're going to lose hundreds, if not thousands of dollars if you don't have policies and procedures in place.
And a lot of times, entrepreneurs, when you're talking about this, when you go from, I was at an event, and as a matter of fact, just this weekend, there was an entrepreneur who'd been an entrepreneur, and they've had working relationships and partnerships, but now she stood up, and this was her pain point of now bringing people into a workspace. And, people coming in 5 minutes late here, there, the expectation wasn't there, and here comes this frustration. So she was trying to figure out now how does she address that, because they were cool. You're moving from being cool to now I've got expectations of you.
Right.
And we find that to be an issue a lot of times.
Yes, we do. And the thing is that you have to set those expectations in the beginning.
In the beginning.
You cannot do it
after the fact,
midstream, because what your employee thinks is how they're going to act.
Right. And now let's go to individuals. Let's go to fear. Today, when you look at social media, you have to think this is the time where it looks like Everybody is doing what they want to do. They're getting what they want to do. The opportunities are out there, but you still find that there is like I was at an event, hundreds of women in the room, and the moderator was saying, "Okay, let's go around the room and tell me your goals." And it was like pulling teeth to get people to say, "I'm here. My goal is this. This is what I want to do." In this, the land of opportunity where it appears everybody gets what they want. Why is it that some people are still afraid to put out there what they want? Say, listen, I want this.
I think it has to do with self-confidence, and it has to do with a belief in themselves.
Right.
And the thing is that in order to believe in yourself and in order to have self-confidence, you have to know what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to be educated, you have to be trained well, you have to be an expert in your field. If you are an expert in your field, you're not going to have that issue saying what it is.
How do you find out what you are an expert at? I know for me, I can say today, I've got a decade blog and I've got 2 decades, and here comes our train. Everybody knows I love the train. And what time is it? Because that's 11:30. When we talk about having confidence, because when you look at people who are successful, you say they have confidence. But when I hear people on their journey, you don't realize you have a following until you look behind you and people are like following you. And then there is that 1 or 2 things that you really do well, that you realize, oh wait, I'm an expert at that. Like right now, okay, I'm an expert at blogging because I've done it for 14 years. But 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have said I'm an expert at it because I needed that history behind it. So how do we get people to like begin to even assess that they've got something unique?
Well, you have to know yourself. You have to know what your abilities are.
Is that a conversation you have with yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and with those people who are really close to you that know you.
Right. There's a thing on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is probably one of the few, and I still to this day can't master LinkedIn. Somebody says maybe self-confidence, self-love helps put rejection in perspective. That's what we're going to talk about. There's a section on LinkedIn where somebody has to make a recommendation of you. And when I talk about networking, and you can go to 27 Answers and get 27 Answers to Rock Networking. The one part that I love about LinkedIn is when you pull up your LinkedIn profile and people have recommended you for these various things, oftentimes there's a couple of categories in there that you probably never thought that's what people know you for.
Right.
And I love that it gives it a ranking of how people, because I'll never forget, I went to see a speaker, and the one area that the speaker said he was the best in, when we looked at his LinkedIn, it was the least that people recommended him for. But the thing that everybody recommended, he wanted to be the one who could pull people together. Okay. But that's the one thing on LinkedIn that people said he wasn't really good at. But the things that everybody said, oh, he does this well, he does that well, those are the things that he didn't want to do. Right. He was trying to grow in the area, and that's something we should do too. Like for me, there's the blogging, my blogging recommendations are all across the page. Right. But then there's a couple things down at the bottom, like him. I want to excel in that area, so I've got to begin to grow, to try to grow the area, and that's something we should do, is work on that area that we aren't as proficient as we think we are. In, right? So I love LinkedIn. If you asked me what I like about LinkedIn yesterday, I would have said nothing. But because everybody's trying to figure out how to use it. Right. But that, I think, is the best thing, because you can go there and get an honest opinion of what you really do. So start a LinkedIn profile. Somebody had a comment. I'm trying to watch the comments, and as they pop up on the screen here, there's a little bit of a delay here. Somebody suggests, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Laughing Out Loud, I logged in to LinkedIn in maybe 2 times. Right, but you should go back there, because one of the things we talked about on the scope last night, we did Pass the Cast last time. We got to get you on Pass the Cast too. Okay. One of the things we talked about last night was, and I just lost my train of thought. Let me think. Let me go back. go back to it. I wish I could scroll back through these comments. Somebody's, oh, truth in business. Truth in business, I think, is a part of it. And I remember we did a session at the B2B where somebody talked about allowing a profitable side of your business to be profitable. And a lot of times that's the side that we don't want to do. But we don't realize is that that's not a part of the business that we even have to do, but we got to let that side grow.
Right.
Do you see that a lot when you're working with businesses? It's like people go, why is it that we go into business because we want flexibility, we want all of this lifestyle, but we don't really look at what could be real profitable in being an entrepreneur or having a business. Do you get that a lot when you work with people?
I get it sometimes, and for those people that have that that misguided expectation, I would say consult a business coach. Okay, someone who can help you and can guide you in the way that you need to go.
Now, coaching has become a big thing. Everybody is a certified coach, but people aren't really deploying them or employing them as they should. What does that mean to bring on a coach, and how do you choose a coach?
You choose a coach.
That's an investment of time and money.
And the thing is that you need to talk to a few people. Don't just choose one because
they're popular or
and this is what I can do, and you know, so on and so forth. Interview, just like you interview an employee.
How do you choose? How can we choose a good coach? And I was about to ask that. Let me see. Totally, Takesha says everyone is a coach today. How do you choose a coach? How do you make sure that person has expertise in your industry? I see a lot of entrepreneurs, everybody goes to a lot of networkings, but they don't do enough industry-specific type stuff in order to excel in that industry. So how do we choose? You said interview.
Interview, look at their background.
What are we asking as far as the interview process? What are we asking from that coach?
Well, first and foremost, you need to see what they've done before. Okay. So they have to come with a resume.
It says a resume.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to go ahead and call those people that have recommended them.
Oh.
Okay.
How many of us are doing that? How many people? Because you know what? As a matter of fact, I was putting together proposals all week, and I had a letter of references. I had this client ready, and people don't do that kind of research. They don't look.
Unfortunately, a lot of business owners don't call their references for their employees.
And that's when they end up coming to you and said, "Okay, I got these employees, and
I don't know
what to do." Somebody never called the reference. So first and foremost, next time call the references.
Yeah.
Because you'd be surprised what you might hear.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
That's right.
So call your references. All right. Ask for references.
Call your references, and ask for not just business references. Ask for personal references as well.
Business and personal reference. Somebody said, true fashion, styling, wardrobe is, I missed the end of that, but they were talking about it's hard to network with that. Okay. All right. So when you, let's say somebody gives you a great sale. They're a coach. They can do this, that, and the other. But then you call them, because another thing we have is a hard time dismissing or strategically dismissing relationships. Then being able to say to the person, "We're not gelling." You call a reference. You get somebody, and they think because they gave you the contact.
Right.
But you can tell because two things are obvious. Remember, I always say, trust is obvious and doubt is obvious. So when you're drilling them on this person,
and if that person is hesitation, there is an issue.
If there's hesitation, there's an issue.
And you need to start drilling down your questions and asking specifics.
Now, do you then go back to that person and say, okay, the reference seemed like there might have been an issue here, or how do you know if to proceed anyway? Or do you just not proceed with that person?
If I can't get the answers that I need, and if I can't know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this person is going to help me. Okay.
TUOIA, let me do this. Somebody's asking for the address, because you know you guys can show up and jump on the scope with us. This is a scope coming by Mousy. The street address. Mousy refuses to get on camera, but let me let you know that we are in TUOIA's downtown. It's an art gallery, custom frame studio. All of this is her artwork on this side. She features your artwork on that side. We'll give you a tour at the end. Address is
6786 Broad Street.
I guess I can type that in. I can type it in. And screenshot it. 6786 Broad Street, BROAD Street in Douglasville. So make sure that you screenshot this and put it in your GPS, because I know a couple people are trying to get here, and I know my phone is on airplane mode. There you go. Screenshot that. It's gonna pop up and screenshot. I'm good. Somebody says, how good, how are you? All right, I'm trying to keep up with the comments and keep the conversation going. You know, we are live and interactive. We are on Periscope. It's actually broadcasting now at DryerBuzz.com. And at the 12 o'clock, we're going to do a little reset, because I know she wants to get her Periscope back on. But we're talking about this because one of the things the Obama administration has said, and one of the things that they're going to really look for as a legacy of President Obama or the Obama administration, is that we have moved the needle in America from entrepreneurs and having helped some of those entrepreneurs grow to growth firms. Mm-hmm. And that's where you come in, because while as an entrepreneur, we know, okay, at the end of the day, we made some money. We paid some business. I just left a room full of millionaires. And even in the room full of people, not millionaires, people who have millionaire businesses. Right. Big difference between being a millionaire and running a $1 million business. Right. 6786 Broad Street. Somebody retyped it for me. Okay, Retro Services, thank you so much. And the thing that's echoing from that, even that room of people who made the 7 figures, are like, I just want to pay my bills. I cannot believe all around the room they had pain points out of this world. Wow. Okay, and employee problems out of this world, because you cannot operate a $1 million business without a team. That's right. And like you, they brought in family, they brought in friends, trying to keep the costs down, doing whatever they could. And now, you know, they're trying to continue to operate, and then you got to invest so much money in everything that's coming in, because even at that level, you still got to reinvest a lot back into your business. That's right. And a lot of them, their pain points, I was like, dang, do I want $1 million business? Mm-hmm. But like you said, you have to do this at the beginning, at the entrepreneur level, at the idea level. And a lot of us walk around without a growth plan. We don't have a plan.
And that's another mistake. How do you run a business? And
Mistakes entrepreneurs make.
How do you run a business and you don't even have a business plan?
Right.
You know, how do you run a business and you don't have vision? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do you run a business you don't have a mission?
Well, let me say this. Let's talk about the business plan. Like, my business plan was to be a news outlet. Mm-hmm. Who knew that the profitable side of that business would be publishing? Even though I went into it as a news outlet, I didn't go to the print route of that. But now publishing books fits well into the scheme of things. I didn't know when I did the business plan that, wow, that was going to take off in 2016, 20 years into the game. So do I let that grow organically, or do I now pull back and put a plan around it?
I would put a plan around it, because it can be more profitable than what it is now.
More profitable. Okay.
Right. And that's what you're looking for.
Right.
There's nothing saying that you can't adjust your business plan. You have to adjust your business plan.
And is that constant adjustment?
As your business grows,
right?
As your business changes, mm-hmm. you have to be flexible.
Well, let's talk about industry changes, because we've gone through this. Those of us that have lived long enough. My grandmother used to say that I used to ask my grandmother to live long enough. She would tell me, live longer. Mm. It'll change.
Yes.
It'll change.
That's right.
So we've gone through several industry changes. I remember in the crash of '87, and a lot of folks say I wasn't born, but I was just starting my family. I thought I'd have the job. I'd work it 50 years. Right. Industry change. The auto industry went bust, mm-hmm. and a lot of people had to go back, because these people had worked in the auto industry at 12 years old. They then had to go and get re-educated, get an education, because they didn't have one working at 12 years old. Then after that, the manufacturing left America. Mm-hmm. And here you had another industry change of people who then having to go and get re-educated. We're now told that kids need to not color in kindergarten, they need to code or do both, right? So we're saying that the job market is going to be at such a deficit because we don't have the tech skills in America. They're debating right now, if you're not watching C-SPAN and all these subcommittee and congressional hearings about changing up the degree programs. Why in America are we still offering these degrees that people can't make a living with. Thank you so much. We just got a multitude, a barrage of followers and people who are sharing. So thank you so much for sharing and inviting to your followers. Thank you so much for the hearts. Those of you that just coming in, just to reset, I'm Yalanda Lattimore. I'm the editor of DryerBuzzLive.com, author of 27 Answers to Create Buzz. Rita Fasina Thomas has a business right here in downtown Douglasville. It's called Distinctive Ops, where you help businesses.
I help businesses with their operational needs, training needs. We teach seminars and workshops. We also write those tedious manuals that should be written in the beginning of your business, such as your employee manual, your policy manual, your orientation guide.
Something you have to think about, because if you say you're an entrepreneur and you want to become a growth firm in a serious business, you've got to think about this, because this is where you're headed. And like I said, I was just at a networking with people who had $1 million business, and to hear the pain points that they had, it's like, okay, how do we not have that train wreck down the line? And you say it's all about planning. But one of the things I know for a fact about my entrepreneurs is a lot of us are walking around in denial. We're in denial. We're in denial about how much success we have, because we don't want to. We don't want any more obligations. We don't want any more responsibilities. But there's something to a peace of mind. And that's the first thing you'll hear entrepreneurs say they want is a peace of mind. But the planning is not in place to secure that peace of mind.
Absolutely, and you have to put the work, you have to put the processes in place before you actually open up your business. You know, these things have to be in place. You know, think about this. Okay,
somebody said, Retro Services said, we are in denial, scared, even sometimes. That's why we're calling it Fearless Friday. Because let's acknowledge that we're scared.
We're scared, but the thing is that if you are proactive, you can alleviate a lot of that fear. You have to be proactive.
But isn't that interesting how the most talented people who have the most solutions, who could change up the American economy, are scared?
It is. It is.
That's wild. She says, thank you. This is so needed. This is so needed. And I mean, but that's the bottom line. Because a lot of us are turning down opportunity because, like you said, that level of expectation. And I said this I put a slide out called that it's not social media, it's illusion media. Because even once you tell people the absolute truth, they add on other layers to that. Is it our experiences that do that? Like, the one reason that the baker didn't take the wedding is because they think the expectation is here, and people love their cakes, and we'll oftentimes go and say, you can do this, you can do it, and you have to like almost drag them along. But there are people out there every day that are saying no to amazing opportunities.
Absolutely, because of fear.
Because of fear.
Because of fear, because of lack of confidence. And that comes from a lack of really knowing your business. You have to know your business. If you are educated, I'm telling you, and you know
Let's talk about this, because you said that a lot. Educated.
If you are educated,
you mean like
you don't
training
have to
and
training,
stuff. Okay.
Certifications, and continuing education. Just because you came out of school with a bachelor's or a master's does not mean that you don't go back to school to learn something else.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I work with a number of PhDs trying to create buzz. They're CEOs, they're presidents of major companies, but they want an art studio, they want a bakery, but training. You can't get it all on social media. You can't get it all watching the Periscope of the person that's scoping the training. You need to go to the training. I know for me, when I go to trainings, it helps me with the jargon, because a lot of times the language in business will change, the industry will change. And when you are, especially about being successful in your business, you're working right along, you're trekking right along, but all around you there's a lot of change happening. Even down to your POS system, how you're cashing people out. Some people, I went to a place the other day and they were like, no, gotta have a money order. I literally had to drive. Turn me away. Turn me away. And I hope I'm still in the shot. I gotta make sure I lean in the shot. Literally turn me away. Is that our 12 o'clock? Because I want to make sure that's coming up on our 12 o'clock train. And we are downtown Douglasville. This is the art studio. Beautiful train tracks out here. I'm never mad at the train because those are entrepreneurs and that's their opportunity. But I literally had sent me away to go and find, didn't take a check, had no kind of electronic processing. I was paying for a service, and they literally wanted a money order.
Wow.
Which meant I had to go burn gas, drive around a place I knew nothing about, and find a money order because I had to complete the service.
Right.
That's
them
them not knowing the world had changed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the world changes. We decide we're going into an industry. Just for instance, when we launched DryerBuzzLive, I said, okay, I'm going to do DryerBuzzLive, and I'm also going to a money order. Geez, yes, I'm also going to broadcast it on Blab. I was going to I would blab, you would blab, we'd all do that. The very next day, Blab changed. Before we could proceed, what we did, we said, okay, here's the new technology. We went to the drawing board. Here's our strategy. By the time we got ready to launch our strategy, the technology changed. Here's some comments. Okay. Square or something shoot. What's this place by? Are you on Broad Street? We're in downtown Broad Street. What is the museum right here?
It's the old courthouse.
Once you pass the courthouse,
there's a rabbit in front of the building.
There's a rabbit in front of the building. Okay. It looks like a courthouse, but it's the courthouse museum. Okay, she says she's here. See, this is how you would be live and interactive. Absolutely. So Shan Thomas is here. The rabbit, that usually gets it. The rabbit out front. The blue building with the rabbit out front. You can't miss it.
Not at
in
all.
Downtown Douglasville. Okay, Shan Thomas is here, and she's gonna jump in because Rita is actually headed to Florida, y'all.
Yes, I am.
So you're gonna. Okay, but. Every time I hear Rita's going out of town, I get this anxiety like that movie, What About Bob? You remember that movie?
Yes, I do.
What About Bob? Because, when somebody who has all the answers is going to take some downtime and travel, you're like, okay, because I need her to, just be there in case you have questions. Or, I called her, Rita, it's 2 minutes out, but you are taking some downtime and some vacation time because you have a foundation as well.
Yes,
Talk about the foundation.
Okay, so I have the Yalanda P Fasina Foundation. What we do is that we award $1,500 scholarships to very needy, however, well-deserving students. Last year was our first year, and we awarded 2. And this year our goal is to award 3. Okay. So what we do is we have a couple of fundraisers. The next one that's coming up is actually in January. It's January 30th, and it's a symposium. And the symposium will be held at Chestnut Log Middle School, and it will be from 10 to 1:30. We have speakers, we have entertainment, we have silent auction, we have some lunch. So tickets are $35. And come one, come all. Come join me. This is a worthy cause. The foundation was built because of my husband's memory, and he loved children. He loved education. Right. And he actually started this foundation without knowing it. He went home to Nigeria, and there was a young lady who was absolutely brilliant, but she was penniless. And she approached him and told him, I want to go to university, but I don't have the funds. Can you help me? So I was still here in the States. My husband called me and said, do you think that we can help her, at least get tested? So I said, sure. So we paid for her to get tested. And come to find out that this young lady was brilliant, like I said. So she started her education, and we were paying for it, and we continued to pay for it until my husband's illness took over, and you know what hospital bills are like. Right. So we had to stop. So after he passed, his birthday came up last August. And I was racking my brains, and I said, there has to be something that I can do to make sure that his legacy lives. And just came to me. You know, as much as this man loved kids and he loved education, the foundation is something that has to be.
It has to be.
We have to be able to help children gain their university education.
Right.
These are our leaders.
They
And-
are. They
yeah.
are.
And,
And I did a scope on Wednesday night, you guys, and I need to post it on DryerBuzz. I talked to a mother. She's a mother. She's a entrepreneur. She's created a business model around the drone industry. But she was saying that most of the scholarships that young people get most of their scholarships in middle school. And her son, by the time he got to high school, because they started early on, by the time he got to high school, he had $1.5 million in scholarships.
Wow.
And oftentimes we think that the scholarships have to do with the grades and the level of education or the school or the district and so forth. But it's really, there's scholarship money really out there for pretty much everything. It runs the gamut of people, from people
Right.
who just want to pour into inspiring others.
That's right.
And $1.5 million of scholarship money, whatever education he could dream of, he can get it. Her son is now at the Air Force Academy, so amazing,
Wonderful.
amazing. You're gonna slide in. All right, so I know you want to hit the road. Sean is here to take over the second half,
Okay.
but I want to make sure that we know the growth. Let me ask you this though, because you do the manuals. What is the growth process? If I'm an entrepreneur, and I know I keep hearing the Obama administration say, I've got to go from being an entrepreneur to hiring 1 or 2 people to becoming a growth firm. What does the levels of business really look like? So that when I'm back in that room with those people who operate $1 million businesses, that I don't have the same pain points. Because they scare me, Rita.
Well, like I said, number one, you have to start. You have to be proactive.
Proactive.
You have to do your research.
Research.
And find out what it is that it takes. What are the steps that are needed to start a profitable business? Okay. We need a business plan. A lot of people, for some reason or another, they skip that step.
Yeah, they do, because they kind of fall into business. I do something well, I can make some money at it, and then I'm going to get a couple of friends. I got a good opportunity with a couple of friends to do it with me. Okay. All right, so bring us back from the ledge, because we're on the ledge right now because they're driving us crazy, but
Right.
okay.
Get that business plan. You know, have a mentor, somebody who's actually gone the distance that can teach you the right way.
And you said interview
get
this
there.
person
Interview
and
this
ask for references.
For references, it's very
And
important.
call the references.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And you know, if there are
Wait, did we
hesitations,
answer?
if
Did we
people
answer
don't-
what to do if the references don't come back good? Did you tell us how to dismiss that relationship?
You would just go to that person and let them know, you know, that I just don't think that you're a good fit.
Okay.
I don't think that you want to put that reference out there.
Okay. Don't throw the reference under the bus,
Under the bus, you know.
which a
but
lot of
you
people would
can-
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can go to that person and let that person know
That you're just
you know,
making another decision.
Yeah, I've made another decision.
Okay.
So thank you for your time.
Okay.
You know, there's always a good way,
Right.
you know, to let somebody down.
So bottom line is just have a plan. Even if you start, because one of the things that I hear people talk about why they don't have a business plan is because they say that they're not going for funding or they're not going trying to get loans. You know, those traditional things that require a business plan. But you say have a business plan because it guides us into where we're going.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
And the thing is that you can always make adjustments to your business plan as you go along, as you grow.
Right.
You have to make adjustments.
And don't be afraid
And don't
of
be
growth.
afraid of growth.
That's
you know,
what we
if
are.
you are afraid of growth, then you're stunting yourself. If you
Right.
are afraid, if so many people are afraid of failure. Okay? Failure is nothing but a stepping stone to your success. So if you think of it that way, yeah, we're going to fail.
Right.
We are going to fail at some things.
Hashtag fearless Friday.
Yeah.
Rita Fasina Thomas, y'all. We're gonna get ready to reset. And is there anything? What are your hopes with Fearless Friday? You see the conversation that's out there with Fearless Friday. What are your hopes with Fearless Friday?
My hopes are that people learn, that we touch issues that people want to hear about, but they never do. So in other words, instead of hearing about or instead of listening to people regurgitating the same information that you've heard time and time again. Let's touch some information that somebody really wants to hear. And that's why I like the interactiveness, because they can ask questions.
Yeah. And you can still ask questions before she leaves.
And answer.
Okay.
You know.
And you said training. What kind of training do you have coming up?
Okay, so we teach seminars and workshops. We have a whole gamut of training, you know, whether it be hands-on training, all right, where I go in, I learn the business, and I'm able to train, you know. I've actually gone into a business that needed a director, and for some reason or another, they really had a hard time finding that person. So I stepped in for 3 months as the director. We were able to hire someone and train them, and that way I was able to step away from the business and make them a lot more profitable, because if you hire me, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than if you hire your own. Right.
What about business plan training, writing, business plan writing? You guys offer that as well?
We don't.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay. Is that because there's a pain point because people don't know? Because why not business plan? What is it about working through that process?
I think a lot of people are just afraid of the process, you know, but if you look online, you can get a template, and get a mentor, get somebody who knows how to write a business plan to help you through the process.
There are a number of, like I said, we're in the land of opportunity right now, and a lot of entrepreneurs are being told, put it on paper, and they find one of the reasons they're not taking advantage of the opportunity because they can't put it on paper. Is that something that they can learn from Distinctive Ops? Really, like, I do all of this. How do I go get certified? You talked about certifications. Do you guys offer training?
No, we don't offer those types of certifications.
Okay, so I'm coming to Distinctive Ops to do what?
You're coming to Distinctive Ops because I need help with writing those manuals.
The manuals.
I need help with my training.
Right.
I need help with developing a training system. I need help with my systems.
Right.
You know, can you help me put systems in place? Okay. Okay. I'm coming to Distinctive Ops Services because I need a social media policy. Right. You know, I have nothing in place, and my employees are just running the gamut on me. You know, I'm coming to Distinctive Ops Services because I need seminars and workshops taught at my business. Okay. Yeah. All right. And how do they follow besides Fearless Friday, how do they follow Distinctive Ops? Okay. You can find me on Facebook, Rita Fasina Thomas, and Distinctive Ops Services is my fan page. You can find me on Twitter at Distinctive Ops. You can find me on LinkedIn, and that gives the majority of my information. So you've mastered LinkedIn? I won't say I've mastered it. I've gotten to the point where I've got about 700 odd followers on LinkedIn, or connections, I should say. Do you think entrepreneurs should be there? Because there's still the question is like how to do. If you are in business, you need to be on LinkedIn. If you're in business, you need to be on LinkedIn. Real business, you need to be on LinkedIn. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Rita. Be safe on the road. Thank you. Okay, enjoy your downtime. Thank you. And we'll see you back here Monday. Yes, you'll see me back here Tuesday. She done already took an extra day. Tuesday, Rita Fasina Thomas is going to be with us here at TUOIA on Friday as we talk about Rita Fasina Thomas. I'm going to type her name in. I'm going to let her type her name in so that she can get it. You can and use the hashtag. Yeah, just hit it right there. Let her type her name in so it'll be on screen. We've been talking about this fear that we have, and We've seen it all over the place. We're missing opportunities because we're not putting our business correctly on paper. And that paper, what we do, those processes, procedures, all of that speaks about us in business. A lot of times, especially on Periscope, we're seeing a lot of coaches. She told us about how to initiate those relationships with coaches. I'm going to say there's her name in the room there. She talked about us how to initiate the relationship with the coach. Hit this, let me hit this low battery button here, and we're gonna get ready to wrap up. That's go from the other side. Well, don't lose the shot. Okay, we're gonna switch out here, and Rita's gonna step out, and Shan Thomas
is going to be in here.
Never been to downtown.
Well, welcome to downtown Douglasville.
Yeah, this
And you said you had an hour drive. How far did you come?
From Alpharetta.
Alpharetta. Okay, so Alpharetta has an amazing downtown. No,
Yeah,
it's
I
at
mean,
Norcross.
No, Alpharetta's downtown. It's really like
How far is
small
Alpharetta
town.
from Norcross?
Not that far, maybe 20 minutes.
Alpharetta is at 400?
Mm-hmm.
Look, yes, I do live in Georgia, but do I venture out? No.
Yeah, I just live
Okay,
there.
400, which exit?
I'm off exit 9. I'm close. It's a long way.
Because there's a theater that I go to in I want to say downtown Norcross, which is the
Yes,
beginning of that 400. Is at the very beginning of 400. So, can't be. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a long way. But I love you.
Is that like going to Lake Lanier?
Yes.
See, stop right there. You lost me right there. And people don't understand. Yes, in Atlanta, we do know everybody because we do some of the best networking here. Let me see. Hold on. Somebody says hello to Sean. It's Shan Thomas.
It's Sean. Now you know my name. Sean.
It's Shan Thomas. Yep. We're going to tell you how far we go back.
Yes.
In just a minute. But let me reset. I'm Yalanda Lattimore. I'm the editor of DryerBuzz. We just finished talking with Rita Fasina Thomas that I'm working with on fear. And because I find that a lot of us are hiding behind our businesses. But we're going to talk with Shan Thomas. We're going to tell you how to put your business out there. And I mean, like, put your business out there. I went to 2 networkings with her last month. And it literally set off my October to I can't squeeze another thing on there. I went to Pro Networker was the first one. I stopped by because you guys were honoring Felicia Phillip.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped by there. And then I came back. You had one the next week at Firm Base. You got to tell us what that event was. And people loved how I got a booth because I was like, I'm not going to go. Then I was like, no, let me get a table. And there were people at the event who loved what the information we provided at the table. That I got 2 opportunities from that to go and do a table and bring the books. And I didn't put out any books today. But you already know the book is 27 Answers to Create Buzz. We are inside a beautiful location here. I know y'all got so many comments. Okay, wait a minute. Please tell me y'all talk to each other. I'm working with someone now with a few things. I hope y'all are talking with each other. Somebody's talking about the White House.
The White House?
Okay. So, let me just welcome everybody to the room, live and interactive. This is us taking Periscope to the next level.
Yes.
This is us bringing our timelines to life. And this is where we're going to be Fridays, 11:27 to 12:27. So take an early lunch if you have to do that, or however you need to do. Drive west of Atlanta. It's about 30 miles. Another 30 miles you'll be in Alabama. So don't miss downtown Douglasville. Okay? You'd be surprised how close we are to Alabama. Okay, gonna be crazy tomorrow. Excited to be attending. Oh, and this is the Million Man March weekend. That's the conversation that people want us to have as to whether or not women should go. I don't think that we should go, but I think that we should go to do a great send-off.
Yes, and support. Support the effort. We need to support our men, ladies.
Exactly. So if you go on Facebook 101015, you can see where buses and cars and caravans and all of that is leaving. Mm-hmm. Show up. They need snacks. They need everything. So let's send them off. And, of course, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to watch every minute of it on C-SPAN. Black Girls Golf is in the chat. Black Girls Golf was here last week. If you missed last week's, we still don't have a true name for this because it's DryerBuzz Live, but then it's DryerBuzz On Demand, and then it's Fearless Friday. So we still don't have a true name, but what we did last week, let's do it that way. What we did last week is playing right now at DryerBuzz.com. We're going to also put this up at DryerBuzz.com. We are live and interactive. You're getting ready to ask Shan Thomas some questions. Because when we talk about networking, and I've written 27 Answers to Rock Networking, but true networking, I'm talking about events where everybody is engaged in the process. Nobody gets to hide the back.
No.
Nobody gets to not be involved. When you go into a Shan Thomas event, first and foremost, when I'm telling people the business, we always talk business model here. When I'm telling people your business model, they go, wait, what? Yes, it's an investment. You make an investment in yourself to first and foremost network with Shan Thomas. You ain't just rolling up to our event. It's an investment in yourself. So let's talk about the business model. How did you come up with a business model around networking?
I can honestly say that it was by mistake.
Now, Rita just said that same thing, that somebody did something by mistake.
It's the best.
She started her foundation by mistake.
Yeah,
so.
it's the best thing ever. I literally started networking out of the necessity to eat. Because, right, as an entrepreneur, you know, one of the things we always say is you have to go hunting. You have to kill it to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So there is nobody bringing you your food. You have to go out and you have to kill it to eat it. And so realistically, networking is where you meet the most people.
Right.
The fastest.
Okay.
And I'm an extrovert, so
Okay.
it works well for my social butterfly tendencies. For me to go networking, I'm bold. I'll network by myself.
Right.
So once I started networking, the way that Entrepreneur Her came about was I was networking, and I found it easier to talk to ladies because I'm one of those fancy ladies, and I can always find something
in common,
right? Which is a key to networking. And as I'm talking to them, I'm hearing the same excuses come up as to why they're thinking about jumping off the ship of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
I heard that they don't have the resources, they don't have the support at home, they feel like they got to be superwoman. And I can attest to all that. I had 4 kids at home. I was holding down my whole household. I was a divorced mom, and I had just jumped off that corporate ship. So I'm like, no, that's not an excuse. You can do it. But I kept hearing it over and over again. So that's the way that Entrepreneur Her came about. Right. And then, because I was looking for, I went to a lot of events. And some events you go to, it's just a waste of your money and a waste of your time. So I was looking for something different, something where it was not fake. Now, you ever been to those events?
It's Atlanta.
Is it? Yeah.
Atlanta is, I don't know how, but somehow fake just slips right in there.
It's right there.
Right there.
And you can read right through it. And it's like,
I say that all the time.
All the time.
You can see it, you can tell it. Go ahead.
Yeah. And really, it's an energy. And you go to an event and there's all this fakeness, and it's like, yes, and I drive a Rolls Royce, and I live in the country club, and it's all this stuff. And you're like, look, you know your house in foreclosure.
Oh.
So let's stop playing.
Right.
But I just wanted a space where people could feel safe to be authentic. People could feel safe to say, I got a problem.
Right.
I can't do this. I don't know how to do that. And then I can bring in...
We hear safe space all the time. Where does that come from? Because there is nothing safe about being an entrepreneur. Why isn't we hear the safe space?
Well, really, because of the fakeness. You hear the safe space because of the fakeness.
They don't want the truth to get in. That's what they mean by safe spaces. The truth can't get in here, right? Is that what it is?
That's not what I think. I think that for me, my safe space is you can ask any question. There's no dumb question. Okay. You can ask for help and get it.
That's what you want to create with your networking outside of the fakeness, is get to a place where people can. We started the scope talking about how do we get to the truth in business. And you said, because I was just telling Rita just this weekend, or just this week, I was at a networking, and I was watching a panel of women who had $1 million businesses, but the pain points that they had, and the only thing walking out of that space that I kept hearing them say, women who had $1 million businesses, I just want to pay my bills. I just want to pay my bills. So their businesses are making millions of dollars, but then they got the costs, and they got the liabilities, they got the employees, and the employee. And what I saw in that frustration with them is that their employees are going home and paying their bills, because the employee gonna come in and give you 8 hours. You got to give them their money, and they're going home and pay their bills, and then you're left with what's left to try to pay your business. I'm like, okay, I keep hearing every last one, and I scoped it, so it's on the scope. But to hear we went to that event because that's the place we want to get to have that $1 million business. But then to hear their pain points and to hear them say, I just want to pay my bills. I just want to pay my bills. I'm like, what kind of bills do they have?
Listen, I know
be truthful about it.
I know 2 millionaires right now. They have $1 million. They're not millionaires, but they have $1 million businesses who are stopping. They're giving it up. Because it's one thing, everybody wants to, they think they want to get to 6 figures, 7 figures. But with that comes a lot of responsibility.
And obligations
and
liabilities.
And headaches.
Yes.
You know, headaches, especially if you don't set your business up appropriately. If you don't set your business up appropriately for you to be scalable, you know, and that's one of the things that I respect so much about your hustle, girl, because you have set things up to where you make money, where you sleep, where you travel, where you... And that's the missing link. Women have set businesses up to where they have to be there, to where they have to get up at 3 a.m. and answer every email, and they have to have 2 cell phones. And we can't survive like that. That is a different kind of energy.
And that's when I talk to entrepreneurs, and the only reason, everything that I say and do is hindsight. I was at another event, and somebody kept asking me, like, you and I both talk about we don't want to do websites.
Right.
But it's a very profitable side of the business. But we keep thinking that we got to do it, as opposed to allowing that side of the business to grow, but letting somebody else do the work. And that's what I found with an entrepreneur. When I talk to entrepreneurs and say, oh, well, that could be that's a good lane to get in, and they'll say, I don't want to do it. But when you're in business, it's not about you doing it. When we were at the Coca-Cola training this week, and I scoped it, y'all can watch it on scope, and she was asking, Nellie Galen was her name, and she was asking, and okay, wait a minute, why do we want the 6 figures if the biz is only about dollars? What will sustain you after we make it? We're going to answer that question. But what she was asking people to tell their goals, and everybody had all these goals, and I was like, my goal is not to have to work my business.
Right.
That's my goal.
That's the goal.
That's why I have that's why I turned 27 answers into an opportunity to have 27 answers bloggers, because that's my goal. I don't want to have to work my business, and I don't find a lot of people with that mindset.
Me either.
So how do we get to that point? Answer that question I threw out there.
I had to put it down because I was going to be like.
I know. But most black girls going to say most jump in and don't understand business.
Exactly. That is the key that I think is the missing link, because most small business owners think that they're operating this like it's a hobby and like this is a cash register. And it's not a cash register. I find it's so frustrating when I talk to small business owners and they don't have a business account, and they don't understand that they have to pay themselves, and they also don't know what their numbers are. If I ask you,
numbers is
business is numbers.
That's the denial. That's the denial. Like you said, it's a cash register. At the end of the day, they make money. And most businesses operate throughout the year not making money, and they have a season. Everybody has that season you make money, which you then got to go back and reimburse all those expenses. But we see it as a cash register. It is a hobby. It is something they stumbled upon. But at some point, you got to start thinking like a business.
You do. But that's where it comes to. You need to get a mentor. And you have to have
You're the third, umpteenth person to say this about this mentor.
Oh my goodness, I wouldn't be where I am without the mentors that have come into my life. Okay. And realistically, it's not so much about just asking for them to pour into you, as much as it is about connecting to the right people and you pouring what you have to offer into them. Therefore, they have no choice.
I'm gonna try to remember. Somebody said social platforms and Vistaprint made everybody a business.
Especially in Atlanta, everybody in Atlanta got a business card. You can go to
everybody in Atlanta got 2 and 3 business cards.
You can go to the car wash and the car detailing man gonna give you a business
card. How
do
you find a mentor, and how do you live below your means?
Well, I don't know how to live below my means.
She don't know how to live below her
However,
means.
to find a mentor, I just had this conversation riding over here. Like I made 6 figures, and I live in Alpharetta, and I still have this lifestyle. But I'm not going down. I'm just gonna make my business come up to it. So no, I don't know that. But as far as a mentor is concerned, for me, the way I found a mentor was I found out who had done things that I wanted to do. And then if there was a way for me to immediately connect with them, I connected with them. I found out where they're going to be, where they like to hang out, and I showed up. And I told them things about themselves because I'd done my research.
Key. Talk about them, not you.
Talk about them, not you. Talk about what you bring to the table to offer to help. That is how I got connected to Felicia Phillips, the Pink Mogul. Literally, she had an event last year, and that's why I reached out to you to be the blogger. Right. She had an event last year. I knew that was going to be an amazing feat. Right. I knew that was a big opportunity. And it was like, look, I admire you. How can I help? What do you need me to do? This is what I bring to the table. I know that, do you have a team? Where do you need me to help on the team? And she was like, well, I really don't have a team, but do what you do. This is what I do. This is who I know. She said, well, I need this person. I need that person. I immediately thought of you. I immediately opened up my Rolodex. You should have your own Rolodex, people. Right. I immediately opened up my Rolodex, found a PR person, found the bloggers that I know in my community, found she needed photographers, I found photographers. If she called me in 5 minutes and said, okay, somebody didn't show up, do you know somebody? I do. And if I didn't, I found somebody. This is what I'm talking about. And that's the thing.
But to extend it, how did you know to take that risk to pour into her? How did you know to take
I did my research on her.
You did her, your research, because she's a boss woman. Y'all saw her on the scope last week. We're talking about Felicia Phillips, who's having the Mega Accelerator tomorrow.
Yes, where I am speaking on her stage.
Yes. And you guys, and one of the things I think entrepreneurs in Atlanta and around everybody miss is the relationship. We go to these events and we see the gloss and the glossiness through the glam through social media, but we always overlook the relationship. The event I went to at Coca-Cola, one thing I noticed is that everybody presented that they mentioned the relationship that they had, because that's when you get an opportunity, you call on the people you know.
You do. You call on the people you know, and you show up, at 150%. You can't half step. And if you say you're going to do something, this is the biggest thing that entrepreneurs fail in relationship building.
Right.
It's really not honoring their word. And if I can't trust you to come through,
trust,
yes,
honor, relationship, loyalty,
big words
yes.
in this space,
yes.
because it means so much.
Yes.
I need to know that if you're going to do something, you say you're going to do it, that I can trust and release it.
Right.
That it's in good hands.
Right.
That is important. It's really important, because this stuff don't happen by one person. It takes teams.
Right.
It takes those collaborative efforts.
Let's get back to your event so we can get ready. We got 1 minute, but we're gonna extend it because she done drove a long way to talk to y'all. Okay. But your event, which is called Entrepreneur Her.
Yes.
Okay. Entrepreneur. Check the shirt.
You can order it.
It happens. It's a quarterly event, but you have monthly. Explain the business model around.
Okay, so we got off on that tangent.
Yes. And one of the reasons I like to lead with the conversation about business model, because as an entrepreneur, you find all the time that people try to undermine your business model. So,
so Entrepreneur Her is a platform for women to come together to create a business that you love. We don't want to do stuff we hate. We want to connect each other to a supportive community of people. So you are going to connect, and then to build collaborative partnerships, to actually collaborate, to build synergistic businesses to cross promote. Right? That's what Entrepreneur Her exists to do, and inspire and to motivate people to not give up on this entrepreneurial journey.
right. Good morning.
So the model is, I do have 3 big events per year. I do them quarterly. So March, it's the last Saturday of March. I think the next one is March 26th. Our next big event will be March 26th. I don't have a space as of yet because we're growing and we're outgrowing Fernbank. Then we'll have one June, the last Saturday of June, and the final event of the year will be the last Saturday in September. We don't do a 4th quarter because as women, I know that December is busy enough for us, and I'm not putting it on my plate, much less yours, to try to come to my event in December. So it's only 3 big events per year. At that event, I bring in 10 successful women from every area of life, and everybody has a story. It's not a pitch fest. It's not that we get pitched to enough.
Right.
So it's not a pitch fest. It's really to share what are their trials, what were their triumphs, what are the lessons that they learned along this journey to help us stay encouraged. And when you come to an Entrepreneur Her event, you leave invigorated. There are people that come and they feel like, I can't do this, and they leave and they're like, I have a newfound passion. I have businesses that are launched from Entrepreneur Her. There's relationships built. There are, and one of the questions that I always ask at my event is, who needs something in the room? Because I'm a firm believer, I'm a woman of faith, and I'm a firm believer that whatever you need is always in the room. So I ask the question, raise your hand if you need something. Who needs a business card? Who needs graphic design? Does someone need an introduction? Do you need a space? Do you need a venue? What do you need? And people raise their hands, and we exchange information right there. You don't leave this event, feeling like, oh my gosh, I just went to another event, I'm motivated, but you still got to go home and figure out something. No, if you open your mouth, you'll get the help that you need, right?
Yeah.
And secondarily, I'm a firm believer of doing business with people in my community. So I talk about 9 times out of 10, everything from my head to my toes I got from a woman entrepreneur. I talk about these bracelets that I buy. I talk about everything that I wear, the custom lipstick that I have, the lady who does my hair, the earrings come from a different vendor. I got a lady who makes my t-shirts, the girl who did my shoes, did my skirt, everything. And it's not about talking about it, y'all. If we're not going to spend no money, you'll take your money and go spend it somewhere else. Spend money with the people in your community. Because when you support a small business, when you support the woman that's next to you, you're not making sure that corporate jets get bought. You're making sure that her baby can go to private school. You're making sure there's food on her table. It's that important.
And to that effect, TUOIA is female owned and operated, so that's where we are right now. I'm trying to log back in the scope here so I can.
Totally. That was a really good question. And so we do have monthly events as well. One of the things that came from the community was every 3 months is just not enough. This energy has to continue. So at the request of the community, I am honoring a monthly event. It is a lunch event because unfortunately fortunately, I have a 4-year-old and I can't do Saturdays. I can't do nights anymore. So we have to also organize our businesses around the lives that we live. So I'll do a lunch event while my baby's at school and I'll pour into these ladies. We come and we have lunch together. I teach a marketing lesson because my background is business marketing. I teach a marketing lesson. And there's 40 women in the room where we share and we talk about more than that.
And so everybody's going to jump back in. We're going to wrap up 40 seats, Entrepreneur Her, October the 20th. And register where?
On Eventbrite. Go to Eventbrite. It's entrepreneurherbrunch.eventbrite.com. Entrepreneur Her Brunch. And find us on Facebook. We have an amazing Facebook community where we share and grow our relationships there as well. So the Entrepreneur Hers are on Facebook as well.
Now, did you decide on a regular scope besides Past the Cat? What's your scope schedule?
I'm supposed to do 10-10 daily, but I'm on the phone, so I got to figure that out. I want to do 10-10 daily, so I can lead right up into your 10-27.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
But you said you didn't want to stay up at night, though.
No, I'm talking about in the morning.
Oh, okay. So, and I told you, I thought yours were perfect for starting us out in the morning. Mm-hmm. And so 10-10 in the morning.
10-10 in the morning.
And you notice how she's going to use my 10-27 as her endpoint.
Right.
But you have to, that's the thing about it, you have to find what's going to motivate you and what's going to make you commit. So knowing that I'm coming up the bat right behind her, she's going to get out there, hit a home run, make it easy for me. So that'd be perfect. I love it. I love it. And let's tell everybody, remember I said it's all about relationships. We go back, what, 20?
Over 20 years. I was pregnant with the 19-year-old.
With the 19-year-old. And I have a 20-year-old. And then you had another one. You had another one. So what's your, one of the things too is not only, we're talking, both of us are sitting here, there's 8 kids between us. That's a shocker in and of itself. But you still stuck to your grind. You still became an entrepreneur. You still went and got all the education you could.
Yes.
And I think that's what inspired. Because there's somebody out there who are having their first child thinking, oh, they've got to stop doing this, they've got to stop doing that. How do you do it all? And not to say, because people keep asking, how can women have it all? First and foremost, we don't want it all.
We don't want it all.
We don't want it all. People just think we want it all. We don't want to multitask. But how did you do it? And how do you do it? Because you're still constantly doing it.
Well, the thing about it is, I just knew, first of all, I knew that education was my way to get to where I wanted to go, from where I came from. Because if you don't know my story, it's amazing, right?
Right. It is amazing.
It's amazing.
Is it a book to come?
One day, God said it's supposed to be.
The day we get her to tell this story, y'all, it's gonna free a lot of us. Go ahead though, because I'm looking, because I've watched you overline with graduation when you posted grad. I'm like, I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
Because I mean, we had these dreams and expectations a long time and stuck to it, and people want to know how we did it.
Well, realistically, I can say that when I met you in my 20s, I was just in awe. You opened the door to this.
And I didn't even know this.
You didn't know it, but you opened the door. I had no idea. I didn't. Pearl Cleave. Do you remember? Yes. She introduced me to Pearl Cleave, y'all.
Yes, because I was having lunch. And,
yes.
Well, here's the story.
Yes.
Let's start the story.
You are definitely a spiritually filled, thinking woman, and that is what we've been lacking in our community.
Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow @DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.